All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our weekly announcement today. And today I thought I'd come to you via recording instead of trying to type everything out, just because I think there's a little too much to talk about. And I think it's kind of an important week with our first draft coming due this Friday night at midnight. So I wanted to share a couple of things with you that I think are pretty important, particularly in this day and age of AI and plagiarism and all that kind of stuff. So I wanted to just kind of show you a couple of things here. First of all, hopefully you can all see this stuff. Hopefully you can't see that, so let me move this out of the way here. Um, so I wanted to talk with you about a couple of things. First of all, I know you're all busily getting your drafts together. Um, and hopefully that's going well. Certainly if you need anything, drop me a note. I've already talked to a couple of you guys, and it looks like, first of all, you've got some really, really great topics that I'm excited to see here coming up. So that's great. But I just wanted to share with you a couple things. First of all, please, please, please be careful with your sources, your acknowledging sources, your citations, and all that kind of stuff. It's really, really important that you do that correctly. So I wanted to share with you a couple of things to be aware of, to think about as you put together your drafts for this Friday night. And again, speaking of Friday night, please make sure your final drafts are posted in the peer review folder by midnight, no later than midnight this Friday. This Friday. This Friday is the due date for that. You're not going to see a due date on Blackboard. So you kind of have to make sure that you kind of, manage your time wisely and that you submit the first drafts by Friday night. Friday night is really important because you'll be peer reviewing them over the weekend, and the reviews will be due on Sunday. You will see a due date for that. Um, your reviews will be due on Sunday, but your actual first drafts will be due on Friday night. We'll go over that one last time before we're done tonight. But what I really want to talk to you about is the actual citations and documenting of sources and stuff, just to show you how important that is. So um, I wanted to show you kind of a quick example of things here really quick, just to kind of emphasize what I'm talking about. So I know you saw in a previous lesson, I think it might have been a week or so ago, when we went over chapter 12. I think that might have even been in week 5, but I just want to show you a couple of things here really quick. So week 5, you might have seen this, actually this. Remember this essay here? We went over the sleepless nights of a university student. This is a similar report. It might be real similar to what you're doing now with your report. Some of you I know might be doing a report on, you know, teacher shortages. You might be doing a report on, the effects of social media. So I know someone's doing a report on the Manson family. Whatever your report is, you're going to be presenting your report, to an audience, to your classmates, to me, whatever. So your report's going to be very similar to this. Like this student here did a report on the sleepless nights of a university student. So your report's going to be crafted much the same way here, right? It's going to start with an introduction, just like this, right? You'll kind of see this little blue annotation here where she introduces the topic. You'll be doing the same thing here, right? With this first paragraph where you're going to introduce your topic again, whether it's, teacher shortages. So your first paragraph is going to be introducing that topic. It's going to end with a thesis statement, right? Just like your last paper did. So the structure is going to be very much the same as this. So this could be a really good paper, really good essay to look back on, right, this week if you haven't done it already, just to kind of look back to see how this paper is done. So this is a really good example to look at. But other things that are really important about this example, especially, are the citations. The citations are just super, super important, right? So you'll see here through this paper, she had to look things up, right? It's not, this student just didn't come up with these things off the top of her head, like, gosh, college students just have trouble sleeping at night. Why is that? Is it just that they do too much work? Is it that they have psychological problems? Is it that they have, high glucose levels? Why is it? She doesn't obviously just know all this stuff. She had to look that stuff up somewhere, right? I mean, just like when you do research on teacher shortages or when you talk about, whatever it is you're talking about, you had to look all that stuff up. You don't know that stuff just off the top of your head. You had to look that up. So that's why here in these next couple of paragraphs, you see all these things here. And I know a lot of you guys know that, but it's so important that you include all these things here. Why do you include all these things here? It's because somebody like me or a researcher, somebody's going to be checking on this stuff. We're going to be checking on this stuff. And what do I mean by that? Because say like down here, right, when we're looking at your essay, I might, just to go through some of your papers, I might do something like this, right? I'm going to be looking at this fantastic paper of yours, right? Like this student here. This student wrote about why college students can't sleep at night. It's very interesting research. I might look at a research paper on you know, teacher shortages. This paper here I'm looking at about why college students can't sleep. So I'm going through this paper here. I see she quoted something. She says something here. The research drives home the notion that sleep deprivation can have serious psychological impacts and weaken our ability to concentrate on academic material. That sounds pretty damn impressive here. I see she quoted this from these two authors on page 190. Well, where did she get that? So I'm going to go down to this works cited list, right? These are all the sources she used. And I see this source here, right? This is the source she got from here. I match it up to where she cited it right here on page 190. So what can I do? Well, I'm just going to copy and paste this little source right here. I'm going to look it up. I'm actually going to look this site up. And I just happen to have it right here, right? Can you see I copied that source right here? This is the actual source, right? Sex-specific sleep patterns among university students in Lebanon, impact on depression and academic performances, right? Can you see how this is the source right here? Sex-specific sleep patterns among university students in Lebanon, impact and depression on academic performance. This is the source where this student got that. And she got it on page 190. You see that page number 190? That's exactly where she got it. So if I wanted to check this, I should be able to find something here. This response drives home the notion that sleep deprivation can have serious psychological impacts and weakens our ability to concentrate on academic material. So I should be able to find that on page 190. So sure enough, if I look on this source, here's page 189, here's page 190, and sure enough, I will see that right around here, right? She talks about, in addition to the irregular bed and wake times resulting from such a schedule-produced disruptive circadian rhythmicity, this is way over my head, which can independently impact physiological, psychological, and academic well-being. So it's right here. So why am I telling you all this? Because there are some people who don't do this kind of stuff, who don't do this well-researched jazz and cite all these things. This stuff is, this stuff is very, very important that you do this, that you take the time and cite these things, list it properly on your works cited stuff, because there are instructors like me who I tell you will go through every single sites on here and will check all these things just to make sure that you actually did the research and do all of these proper citations. We do check this stuff. We do check this stuff, believe me. So your citations, your quotes, your passages, your summaries, your paraphrases all have to match this. It's very, very important. In this day and age, when there's some nefarious things going on, we check these citations. They have to match. So please, please, please be very, very careful about this. A lot of the things that you can do on the internet, people may think that, oh, this is perfect. This thing that this computer did for me, it produced a very, very nice little essay. But oftentimes, the little things that you might think is done perfectly, these little things down here won't match up. And we check this kind of stuff. So please be careful. Please be careful. You're writing an academic essay that That's, it's very, very important that you watch and be careful about that stuff. You're doing a scholarly research paper, and this kind of stuff really matters. Um, so be careful with this kind of stuff. Take your time and do some good research. If you have any questions about this, please, please let me know. I'm always happy to help you with this. Um, but uh, but as I said, this is a very good example to look at. This. There's some really good stuff here. Also, on Blackboard, there's another example, a student example posted here under your report essay. You will see a student example here that says example report by Jane Tiger. And if you go through here, you will see there's all kinds of examples. I'm just going to make it bigger so I can see it, as young as I used to be. But you'll see, right, all kinds of things. And I put little annotations in here that say things like, right, notice the difference between a general internet source and a scholarly source, right? So you'll see different examples of citations through here, right? All kinds of little notes on citations and quotes and things like that. You'll see notes in your works cited list if you still need help with that. So there's all kinds of examples out here if you need that kind of stuff. Okay, so um, some last minute stuff for you should you need it as you're preparing for your first draft by Friday night. So speaking of your first draft, again, remember you do all that. Whoops, I don't think I want to do that one. Your first draft will go here in the peer review section, if I remember where that is. You'll click on peer review. You're already assigned little groups. So when you go into the peer review, you're going to post it in this section, right? You'll just like you did last month, you'll attach your peer review or your first draft in here by Friday night at midnight. Attach your first draft here, and then over the weekend, once everybody's submitted their papers by Friday night, over the weekend, you're going to pick one person here, one person in this section here. So last time you had to pick a couple. This time you're only going to pick one person, and then you'll review their draft by answering these 10 questions, just like you did last time. Just pick one. So somebody that you didn't pick. So like I might pick Drew or somebody like that, and then Drew might pick the other person, like Sarah or something like that. So just pick the person who hasn't already been picked, if that makes sense. All right. All right. So that should do it. So if you have any questions on any of this stuff, please don't hesitate to give me a call or come by my office, send me an email, anything like that. I'm always happy to help. Okay. Hope you all have a great rest of the week, and I will chat with you again soon. Okay. Talk to you guys later.